Today I want to do a quick little video here on my favorite phones here at the end of 2016. Not all of these phones are from 2016, but it is the top phones at this date here, end of 2016, which I think is some of the coolest phones out there. So let's just go over them a little bit over here. So first of all, we do have a Blackberry phone over here. This phone wasn't released in 2016, it was released a little bit earlier. Majority of these phones though are 2016. So this one was, I think, was 2015 sometime. It has this kind of a cool carbonate back kind of material. It also had a pretty, or has a pretty cool epic little camera thing, and the camera also on this phone is pretty amazing. But that's not the best. The best, of course, with this phone over here is the that it has a keyboard over here. So it has a full kind of QWERTY keyboard, which is I gotta say pretty cool on a phone. It's something that most phones these days doesn't really have. So that is definitely the thing that makes this phone kind of stand out. Also, this phone is called Blackberry Priv. It's running on Android, which is also one thing that's kind of special, just because most of the times these phones is not running Android, you know. Especially Blackberry usually have their own operating system, but yeah, this is the first phone over here, which I think is pretty cool. The second phone is the OnePlus 3T, which is a new OnePlus phone over here from this year. Came out, I think, in November this year. Has a very robust feel, has some tiny upgrades to the OnePlus 3, which came out this year. But the key thing with this phone, of course, is the affordable price. This phone is very affordable. I think it costs like €500 or so, and it's a very good price. I mean, compared to a lot of other phones coming out, which is way more pricier. And the menus are pretty simple. It has, I'm pretty sure it's a fingerprint sensor as well. But overall, the build quality is amazing on this phone. Then, of course, we do have another 2015 phone here, which is the Nexus 6P. Just because it's almost impossible. To get the new Pixel XL. Right now, I still have this phone as my Google phone here, but if I could get the Pixel XL, I probably would add it in here. But I gotta say, this is a very nice, robust build phone here, coming from Google themselves. And earlier years they've been pretty bad with the build quality and everything, but this phone really had a nice overall feel to it. It also has this very nice sort of like a camera area where it kind of like stands out. It's a little bit of a bump, which I definitely do enjoy a ton. Has this cool fingerprint thing here, has a Nexus logo, and it looks like Huawei made these phones for Google. And they also test the new MHL kind of connector. So a lot of Android phones, especially 2016, is moving away from they're moving away from that micro USB charging cable. So that can definitely be interesting there to know. And also, of course, this phone is running on the stock kind of Android experience. I think it's Android N also right now on this one. If I go in and check, yes, this is running on the latest version of Android 7.1.1. And the good thing, of course, with the Google phones is that usually you can get the latest version of Android before everyone else, without any custom skin on top that Sony and Samsung likes to put on their phones. So yeah, that is basically Nexus 6P. Definitely one of the better phones that is available out there. Let's move on. So the next phone over here is another phone which came out this year in April 2016, I'm pretty sure it was. This was an LG phone, their latest LG G5. And of course the interesting part about this phone was that it was this phone that was being called a modular phone. So basically you can replace this part of the phone. So if I try, let's see if I can do it here. So basically what I can do is there is a little bit of a button here, and if I hold it in, I can basically remove parts of the phone, but it's not like a removable back. It's more like you remove this little part here and you can replace it with other parts. Like I think the stock one that came with the phone in the box was like a camera thing, so you get a better grip when you take photos. So that can be nice there. You can also have this, of course, to have a spare battery, which is also very, very nice. One thing I did notice though with the LG phone over here was how it was a little bit edgy on the sides, so I had to use, or I didn't have to, but I used a knife to scratch it down. So it was a little bit of a sloppy thing they did when they made this phone, how it's still a little bit sharp around the edges. It's definitely not something that you want in a phone. But overall it's a very, very fast phone, of course, with the LG's own kind of UI on top of here, which in many ways looks a little bit like Samsung's UI, but really no major issues. I mean, I also did enjoy the LG G4 a lot. I even think I enjoyed the G4 a bit more actually than the G5 because it has a little bit more of a, I don't know, I think the quality on the back material and everything, this one feels a little bit cheaper in some weird way, but it does have some kind of dual camera thing here, which is of course good if you take a lot of pictures. But yeah, it's still a pretty nice phone here from 2016, and yeah, that is the LG phone. Let's move on to the next phone here. So the next phone here, I think we're gonna go with the iPhone. So of course there are two iPhones available right now. You do have the iPhone, or two new iPhones, the iPhone 7 standard edition, of course, and then of course the iPhone 7 Plus, which is the bigger version here, which comes with this kind of like dual camera thing. Both bad and good things with this thing, because it can be annoying for a lot of people because it stands out a lot. So when you put it down on a table like this, you know, it can make a lot of noise. It can also be a little bit hard to hold this phone, but then of course you'd have the standard edition. But of course we need to have the latest iPhone in here because usually they're very, very stable. Usually many things just work. But a lot of complaints on Apple lately that they're doing too little, that there's a lot of bugs and stuff like that they haven't fixed. But still, we're gonna have the latest iPhone in here. These iPhone usually can handle water a little bit better, but I also have iPhones that completely have been destroyed by me testing them in like Coca-Cola. I think it has happened to me with at least two iPhones. It can be a third iPhone as well. So they're not the best when it comes to resistance towards different things. But overall, they're very, very good, and they're gonna, you know, of all of these phones, the iPhone is usually the one that's gonna last longest in terms of lifetime in years before you have to get it replaced. That's at least my experience. But yeah, of course you do have the hold-in thing here on the latest iPhone and everything, so you get extra functionality, just like so. But yeah, that is that phone. Let's move on to the next two phones in here that I am going to talk a little bit about. And then of course we do have the Samsung Galaxy S7, which is of course one of the most popular devices out there and one of my favorite phones. I currently don't use it as my main phone. I use the Galaxy S6, but you know, why don't I use this phone? Well, because these days I really don't care what phone I use. I can use anything. But this phone is pretty nice. I don't like even though I feel that just when you hold it in your hand, it feels a bit more premium. But in terms of usability in like everyday life, I gotta say that the glass back is not really the best material. If a lot of fingerprints and stuff like that. Of course, the S6 also has a glass back, but for some reason, I almost believe that it's not as annoying as it is on the S7, because the S7 has this like kind of curved thing on the sides. And yes, it feels better, but it feels like it can make the device a little bit more slippery or something. But yeah, I'm running on the latest version here of Samsung's software, which is working extremely good. Let's see. I mean, it looks extremely nice. If I go to About Device and to go to Software Information, you can see it's Android 7.0, so it's all of that, the latest good stuff over there. And yeah, I mean, it's just a solid phone overall. Samsung has been having problems though lately. Last year with Note 5 not being released in Europe, and it just raised the prices a lot, and it was just horrible because a lot of people in Europe really liked the Note series. Then eventually when I got the phone, it kind of I accidentally dropped it once, and it was just like 1.5 meter or something, or no, it was just like 1 meter above ground indoors. The phone stopped to work completely. So it feels like Samsung needs to do a little bit more quality control lately, because now they've been having problems with the Note 7. You can't bring it on an airplane, it can explode, and they've stopped selling that device. So Samsung really, 2008 or 2017, I mean, they're really gonna pull their stuff together, bring out better, bigger phones, release them all over the world, because there's two things that made Samsung special lately over the years has been their kind of pen feature, and also that you've been able to remove the battery. Now they have removed the option to remove the battery, and that kind of sucks. And now it's kind of hard to get a big Samsung phone, just because the Note 5 is hard to get, the Note 7 is hard to get, so they really need to fix that stuff, because that was the thing that made Samsung cool 2011 with this major Galaxy Note first phone. They were first on the market with a massive phone like that. So yeah, very nice with Samsung phones. Then of course we do have the cool thing over here. Wait a sec, I'm just gonna need to put a cable inside of my camera, because it is running out of it's running out here. Okay, there we go. And then of course we do have the last phone here, which is another amazing phone from 2016, which is the Sony Xperia X, which has this amazing tube design, and it doesn't have the glass back, which is really nice, because I really hate it. It's bad material on a phone, and just the button layout is just amazing on this phone. You can also see that it's running, Sony is also up to date with the latest version of Android, same exactly as you would like it, with Android N version here, Android 7.0, and the operating system is very fast. So definitely also one of my key phones here right now, of the best phones that is out there on the market. So yeah, just a quick little video talking a little bit about that. So to summarize it, it basically is like, let's see. So we have the Blackberry Priv, we have the OnePlus 3T, Nexus 6P, LG G5, the Samsung Galaxy S7, the iPhone 7 Plus, and the Sony Xperia X. So yeah, quickly a video talking a little bit about that. Hopefully you did enjoy, and definitely I really hope that 2017 is going to be an amazing phone year. Probably going to get a new redesign iPhone, which is going to be nice because it's like the 10-year anniversary or something. 10 years since the first iPhone that came out 2007. And then of course Samsung probably wants to get some money back from the loss from the Note 7 fiasco. So I really think it can be a good year. Even better than 2016. 2016 was a little bit boring in many ways, but yeah, stay tuned, and we will see what's gonna happen next year. And yeah, have a great day.